Good morning and welcome to Creative Marketing TV. My name is Susan Joy Schlief. I'm the host of Creative Marketing TV, and I'm really excited about getting my broadcast started again. I took a couple months off to deal with some personal issues and ready to start broadcasting again. I unfortunately am coming down with a cold this morning, so hopefully my voice will last, but we'll see how it goes. Today, I have a couple of exciting graphic things to share with you. And let me just show you the trailer video I created for this episode, and we'll get started with that. Wait, there we go. All right, I guess I didn't get that set up quite right because I didn't hear the music with it, but at least you get to see the visuals. And part of the reason I wanted to show you, now it's going to play again, I guess. Nope. Okay, well, I wanted to show you something on the video screen, but it's too far gone. Anyway, let me jump over to here and get my camera shared in the corner here. Hi, I am trying a different setup here, running the Hangout through XSplit, besides the change that Google made to run it through YouTube Live instead of Google Hangouts. So I'm still getting used to that. But I am going to bring up my PowerPoint program here in just a moment, and I'm going to show you two things today. One is creating a graphic technique inside of PowerPoint. I imagine you can probably do this in Keynote or maybe even in Google Slides or in OpenOffice. I haven't tried those because PowerPoint is what I use. But I'll show you the technique, and then you can experiment with one of those other programs if you want. And then I have a second technique that I was going to demonstrate for you on my iPhone. Unfortunately, I can't get the app to work this morning to display my iPhone screen on the computer monitor. So I won't be able to broadcast that for you, but I'll show you the example of how it looks and explain a little bit about how to use it. And it's a free app that's available on the iTunes store and or the App Store, I'm sorry, and also on Android as well. So you can experiment with that. But let's get to the graphic technique in PowerPoint first. So let me share my screen here. Nope, not that one. Oh, I guess it is that one. Okay. All right, so you should be seeing my PowerPoint screen now. Let me just shrink it a little bit. Okay. Now, this pop-out technique is not really very hard to do, but the biggest issue is finding the right type of picture to use for it. I've done a couple of examples for you here. This is one, and then this one I did the image, and then it didn't look that good on the white background because the mug is white, so I put a colored background behind it. let me show you the basic steps that we go through to create this. First, you're going to insert the photo into PowerPoint. And we'll talk a little bit about choosing a good photo. Then you're going to put a frame around the photo inside of PowerPoint. That's very easy to do. Then you're going to crop it by just basically grabbing, clicking the format crop and bringing the edge of the photo down. You want to crop it down to a point where you're going to just have one part of the photo sticking up above that. So if we look back at this photo, you can see I wanted to bring it down to about here. So the only thing I'm really cutting out, because we're going to put the mug back in, but all the rest is just gray and white background, so we're not losing much there. And how far you crop it will depend on what's actually in the photo. So you crop that down, and then what we're going to do is make a second copy of the photo and remove the background, and then copy that over on top of the photo. So let's bring up a new photo and I'll show you how it works. And we'll come back to that last step in a moment. All right, so this one I think is going to work pretty well. So the first thing I'm going to do is click on the image and duplicate it. You can either do Control-C and for copy and Control-V to paste, or you can just do Control-D. It'll duplicate whatever you have clicked on. In this case, it's the image. And then I'm just going to drag this one over here out of the way for now. Come on. There we go. Then click back on this one. Let's see, we'll need to slide our focus over here a little bit. And I'm going to, actually, you know what? We should make that a little smaller first, probably before. We want to make sure they both stay the same size. So let me delete this. I think what I'll do is crop this right side off because there's not really anything there. Because it'll work better if the image doesn't fill up the whole slide shape. You might notice too that I have my, excuse me, that I have my slide size and dimensions here different than what you might be used to seeing. That's because I am planning to share this in Facebook, and I found that the square dimensions actually work better in the Facebook newsfeed than the widescreen like you normally use for a slide. Okay, now I'm going to copy this image again with Control-D and drag that over to the side just to get it out of the way for now. Now we'll take this one and put a frame around it. And since we have a black background on the photo, we'll add a white frame so it stands out. And now we're going to crop, but we're going to do something a little different. We're going to click on the little drop down arrow here at the bottom, and we're going to crop it to a shape. The shape that we want to use is this trapezoid. What we're trying to do is to create the illusion of perspective to make it look like the photo is tilted backwards, so the back part is smaller. So let me click on that, and we get this. Now this is adjustable. I don't know how well you can see it on the video, but there is a little yellow square in the corner here, which means that's an editable point on the shape. So I can drag that out and make our trapezoid a little wider at the top, so it doesn't look quite so severe. I think I'll go even a little further than that. Okay. So now Now I need to crop down part of this. And so to do that, let me just click here and turn off that cropping to the shape. Then I'll click on it again and click crop. And now I just want to bring the top edge down to about, let's go about there. And then if I just click anywhere on the background, that will finish the cropping. Okay, now we need to work with this part over here, and we're going to remove the background. And the way we do that is to select the picture, click over here on Remove Background. Again, we have to be on the Format tab and click Remove Background. And depending on the photo, sometimes PowerPoint does a pretty good job of guessing what to remove, but we can also help it a little bit. The first thing I'll do is drag this up to make sure we're getting the whole image of the pair. And then we will, we have these buttons over here to mark areas to keep. Like you can see where this little purple spot is here. We actually want it to keep that, and everything that's marked in purple, it's going to remove. So let's click on Keep Areas, Mark Areas to Keep, and we'll click here. And now that's filled in the rest of the stem. It looks like there's a little bit right on the tip there that's also purple, so I'll mark that one. Don't see anything else on the pair. Sometimes you get a little bit of a line along the edge here where there's a shadow maybe in the picture. I'm not going to worry about trying to mark that right now. I think we'll be okay on that. And then I'm not even going to worry about this bottom part here because we don't need to include that in what we're cropping. I mean, in what we're removing. We can actually just cut off that bottom part of the photo. The only part we really need is the part that's going to stick up above this photo over here. So let's go ahead and we'll try keeping the changes and see how that looks. Yeah, that's not too bad. Now, as I said, I'm going to crop off this bottom part. And I'll just bring it up to about there. And then all we have to do is drag that over here. Make sure you get it lined up pretty close there. And that part of the picture is already selected. I'm going to hold down my Control key and click on the bottom part of the picture. So both of them are highlighted, or selected rather, and then I'm going to right click and select Group. So now they are grouped together as one picture. Now if I wanted to, I can change the size, and it's going to change both elements together, both parts of the picture together. Now, here's an issue where, because we have a white frame around this, it doesn't show up real well against the white background. So let's just change the background of the slide so that the picture, the photo looks better on top of it. And maybe we'll just put in a light blue background. All right. So there's our first pop-out picture. And let me try another one here. This is a little bit different type of photo. I'm not really sure how this is going to work, but I wanted to try it. Again, I think I'm going to crop off some of this right side just because there's not much there in that part of the photo. And then we'll make a copy of that. I get off to the side. Now, if I'm not sure how the removing background is going to work, I'll often, like with this one, I'll start with that part of the process. There's no point in going through all the work of framing this and putting the, shrinking it down and everything. If we can't get the background removed correctly on this one, then this photo is not going to work. So let's give it a try. Oh, it doesn't look too bad. And I think I'm really just going to use the top part here. So doesn't matter if this one's not getting captured over here on the right side. I think I just want to try and grab the very tops of these trees where it's missing those. And actually, we'll just bring this up here. Oops, that wasn't a good idea. Yeah, now it's losing everything. Okay, there we go. I don't know why. I thought that would just eliminate that from the picture, but doesn't seem to be the way it's thinking. All right, let's mark areas to keep. Okay, there, that one looks like it's losing the tip. And a little bit on this one. All right. And I'm going to probably cut it off about here so I don't have to worry about the slopes or anything like that. We'll cut it off just above that. Let's go ahead and click Keep Changes. All right, then I will click Crop and bring that up to about here. Oh, okay, now I didn't put my frame on here yet. Well, let's go ahead and do that. Let's use a black frame on this one. And then we'll do crop to shape. Again, I think I'll just widen that a little bit. And then I'll crop. Down to, yeah, let's go about there. And then we'll drag our treetops over. And that might not be exactly right, but you get the idea. Normally I would probably zoom that in and get it lined up a little better, but oops, sorry about that. I just bumped the microphone with my hand. So yeah, that probably should be cropped down a little bit more because the trees don't stick out very well on there. But so that's maybe not the best photo to use with it, but it gives you an idea. The second part of what I was trying to do with this is I thought it would be neat to take a photo like this, especially, import it into an app on my iPhone that creates a snowing effect. And it seemed like a really cool idea, but I discovered a couple of things that make it that it's really not the best idea to try and combine this technique with the snow cam effect. They're both good effects, but together they don't work so well, because what happens with the snow cam, and I'll go back and show you on this one, this photo here that I had created, the pop-out effect, I saved this image as a picture. You know, in PowerPoint, you can click on it like this, right click, save as picture, right? Export it as a JPEG or a PNG. And then I sent that over to I emailed it to myself on my cell phone, and then had it in my camera roll on my iPhone, opened up the SnowCam app and pulled that photo from the camera roll. It created the effect with the snow. The problem is two things. One is when it goes through that SnowCam app, it lightens the picture. I think in effect what it seems to be doing is putting a very light filter over the whole thing, so you get a lot less color saturation in the photo. Notice how this looks much, much lighter than this one, right? So that's already a little bit disappointing. But then when you're trying to have snowfall happening on top of that and the picture's already very light, then the snow doesn't show up very well because the picture is so light. Added to that, the fact that you have a white background, the snow doesn't show up against the white background either. So because of the way this cropping technique works, it creates a lot of white background around the picture, and then the snow falling on top of that doesn't show up very well because it's white against white. So that's one of the reasons why I ended up putting the gold background around this. But when I imported this version of the photo with the gold background, and I brought that into the SnowCam app, it actually removed the gold background, which I did not expect at all. So this one here is what I created that had a gold background when I brought that into the app, and somehow it didn't keep that as part of the picture. I added the frame around it in the SnowCam app to help set it off from the white background, but it still is not very visible with the snow. Let me open this up in the PowerPoint show, and you can see, you'll be able to see the motion of the snow falling, but it's just not terribly visible. Hopefully you can see that on the video. And, you know, you can see that it's there, but it's just not graphically very interesting, I don't think, because the photo is so washed out behind it. So I think, like I said, I think they're both very cool apps, or very cool techniques, I should say. This one is not really an app. It's a graphic technique you can do inside of PowerPoint, probably Keynote or OpenOffice as well, although I haven't tried it in there. So I would say probably use them separately. It makes more sense to me. So you can use this to create a lot of different kinds of photos that, you know, what I would do is take this now, put it on a light background or even a darker colored background, add some text across the top and put your business name and logo or something at the bottom, and create a meme out of it to share in Facebook or Twitter or anywhere else. But not trying to put the animation on it, or not, at least not the snowfall. The Snowfall app, I tried it with a photo of mine. Let's see, did I bring that in here? I didn't. Let me take you over to the video again, because I did include the photo of me with the snowfall, and that works much better, I think that's in here. Yep. Now, when we get towards the end, you'll see the snow effect over my picture down in the bottom. And I added a color changing effect as well, which looks a little psychedelic, I think, but you can see the snowfall much better on that, and it didn't wash out the color on the picture as much either. So I think it's, like I said, I think it's a pretty fun app. It's free, but it just didn't work as well as I had imagined to bring a photo in there to use. Again, it depends on the photo, because that photo of me has a lot of dark colors. It's against a brick wall. That worked. It's just these cutout pictures with the white background that don't seem to work. Anyway, that app is called SnowCam, and it's from, oh shoot, I don't remember the name now. Oh, another, you might see it under the name Amazing SnowCam. The free version is just called SnowCam, and then there's an Amazing SnowCam that you pay for. I think it's $2. So and that adds a little bit more functionality. So again, you could check that out on the iPhone App Store and on the Google Play Store. It should be available in both of those places. And you don't have to bring in a photo to use with it. You can, there's a camera built in, so you can take a picture of yourself using the front-facing camera and apply the snow to it right away. Now, the one thing I liked about that particular app compared to a few others I looked at is that it does let you export the video. It actually exports it as a GIF, graphical, whatever, I can't remember what that stands for, but it exports it as an animated GIF. So you have a couple of options. If you want to post it to Facebook or Google Plus, or actually a lot of different places will take a GIF now and they will play it in the news feed automatically. You can even insert it in a Gmail email and the GIF will play automatically. If you want to use it as a video, like I did, because I brought it into my video editor and then added it to the rest of that other video, there are a bunch of different free sites online where you can convert a GIF to an MP4. It only takes half a minute or so to do that, so it's very easy. But you can either export it as a GIF, you can either use it that way or convert it to an MP4 very quickly. So have fun with that, and I hope you'll try the photo technique here, the removing the background, and whether you put a color behind it or just the white behind it. It's a fun technique, I think. So if you do create something, be sure you tag me and share it with me so I can see what you created. Hi, again, my name is Susan Joy Schlief. Thank you so much for watching this training, and I look forward to sharing a lot more information and technique and fun ideas with you in the coming year. I'm actually going to have a show on New Year's Eve as well, on December 31st. We're going to do a little year-end wrap-up of celebrating things that we've accomplished for the year. If you want to join me live on that day, I'm going to have some contests and prizes as well. It should be a lot of fun. So look for more information about that in the coming days. That's it for today, and I will talk to you soon.